What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a mini little double album review. Wanted to talk briefly to you guys about the new Ghost album, formerly known as Ghost BC in the United States. It's titled Meliora, and then of course the new one from Foals, What Went Down. Two acts that I've been putting off for a while now, just getting to like their discographies, and man, was I missing out on both accounts. First, let's briefly highlight the Ghost album, just because I don't have a ton to say about it that wasn't already said by my buddy Mark over at Spectrum Pulse. I just wanted to talk about it because it is one of my favorite metal and hard rock releases of the year so far. To say that I'm enjoying this record is definitely an understatement. I'm loving the guitar riffs, even the vocals that are a bit haunting on this thing, and while the lyrics can get a little bit forced in terms of all of the satanic stuff, kind of like Mark was saying, take it with a grain of salt. Even though I'm a religious person, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I absolutely love some of these tracks with kind of the just everything is building up to this track He Is, which is kind of the pinnacle of this record, the peak, and it's a ballad styled song that is just really, really powerful in its own right. Easily one of the best songs of the year so far in my books. Some of these tracks just really grip me. Tracks like Mummy Dust have these heavy riffs on them, and then Spirit opens things up in just a spectacular fashion. I love the theatrical vibe that's just kind of flowing throughout these tracks. There's kind of a connectivity here. I don't really see myself skipping over any of them. The more and more I listen to it, the more I like it. So I did want to give this a brief recommendation. Overall, I'm feeling a strong 4 on this record. Let's now move on to the 4th studio album by rock band Foals. They're from the UK, and this one's called What Went Down. After loving most of their last record, Holy Fire, especially tracks like Inhaler, because holy shit, that's just a climax on that song. It's just a huge payoff that comes in, and of course the visuals that go along with this band are something that I really enjoy as well. The music video for not only that track off of that last album, but what I've seen so far off of What Went Down, especially for the title track, and then the 360 GoPro action that's going on Mountain at My Gates, just phenomenal stuff. I think the reason that I got so excited for this record is just the way that the band were talking about this record themselves. They were hyping it up as something huge, just something sonically charged, and I don't necessarily think that they came through on that promise. Now, it's not to say that I'm not enjoying most of this record, because that would be a lie. It's the fact that I'm a little bit disappointed that they kind of went back on the intensity. They scaled it back on a lot of these tracks. They threw in some extra instruments. You're going to see stuff like keyboards popping up on the amazing Birch tree, which I think is getting a lot of criticism, but I don't really think it's that fair considering it's one of my favorites here on this record. It meshes so well with the vocals and the guitar on this track. It's just something that kind of twinkles all throughout and sounds phenomenal. They throw stuff like that in not only on that track, but then of course What Went Down as well, which is just a powerhouse, a monster tune. Some of these tracks aren't exactly what I expected to hear from Foals, at least at this point in their career, especially with what they were talking about. We get a little bit more airy and atmospheric with some of these jams, especially towards the end of this thing. We have tracks like Lonely Hunter, Night Swimmers, which is probably honestly one of my least favorite tracks just because it drags out for so long. Every time I listen to that track, and then especially Give It All, I can't even make it through one listen without just kind of nodding off to sleep. Give It All is probably one of my least favorite Foals songs to date. I'm sorry if that's one of your favorites, but that's just kind of the effect that it had on me. Now, some of these slower jams definitely did have a certain power about them, something that felt like they kind of lifted it up out of the gloom and then just still like managed to throw something at you that was quite interesting. One of those tracks being London Thunder. Love the production on this track, even though it runs for a little over 4 minutes. In fact, every single song on this album runs at least 4 minutes. It doesn't feel lengthy by any means. Something in the presence of the vocals, the way the guitars are layered, and the intricate bass work that just kind of shifts in the background, and a few extra keyboards and that sort of thing that spring up here and there. It's just one of those tracks that really held my attention through and through. I think that moments like the heavier Snake Oil, What Went Down, of course, tend to be like some of my favorite moments off of this thing, but then it balances out with like Birch Tree, and then of course the closer, A Knife in the Ocean, which I thought was one of the best lyrical pieces on this thing, and then of course London Thunder. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it though, just wanted to share some brief thoughts on it, kind of get a couple of album reviews out in the same video before I get to one that you guys are probably going to be pretty interested in. But for me personally, for the new Foals record, I'm a little bit disappointed by it. I'm feeling a 3.5 on it, but there still are good songs. I'd recommend you check it out for yourself. If you want to try out a song from each album, you can check the description down below. Thanks so much for watching my review of not only the new Ghost record, but of course the new Foals record as well. Leave your thoughts on either of them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash the like button, and of course subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there's other albums you'd like to see me tackle, let me know with a comment, and other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.